7 months later, we see John training for the new competition. At night, he spends his time normally like any citizen, but he tries to sneak out and jump over the city wall. He fails and his arm breaks, causing a disability in his training. Raven decides to put more guards on him to prevent him from escaping. It turns out there's another woman named Raven who controls all of San Francisco. She assigns roles and gives orders to every woman working under her to control a specific part of the city. John tells Raven, "I preferred the first Raven over you." Raven says to him, "Yeah, everyone loved her, but she's gone. I gave her another task because she wasn't handling you properly. The tournament could start any time, and you're reckless. Try to escape and injuring yourself." Her guard passes by, hits him, and she says, "I can make you feel more pain than that if you try to escape again. You're entering the tournament whether you like it or not, and you'll win it, so Calypso comes back to me." We go to a flashback from 27 years ago to learn who Calypso is. Calypso was Raven's close friend. One day, they decide to prank their friends. While pulling the prank, Calypso slips off the house roof, hits her head, and dies in the swimming pool. Raven sees her, gets shocked, and screams loudly. But we learn Calypso didn't die. She's been in a coma all these years. Raven has a specific plan to bring her back to life. To stop John from escaping again, she tells him, "Your life will be training, eating, and sleeping only. You won't have the freedom to move in the city again or even watch TV." John goes crazy over her decision, but can't object. He asks to use the bathroom, and she agrees, but she catches him trying to escape again. We go to Mokajit City with a medicine factory. Suddenly, the masked women's gang storms the place. Their leader, named Dollface, talks to the person in charge and demands the medicines. The person refuses to give them anything, so Dollface decides to light him up with her machine gun. She films it to keep the memory. She orders her gang to steal everything in the place. They return to their camp and hold a party to celebrate their successful mission. They have a man named Jeremy working for them. Quiet has been with them the whole time, participating in all their missions. Dollface talks to them and says, "We need to work on a larger and fiercer scale. Our goal now is to bring down the city wall, so everyone gets better food and supplies." They all cheer at this news except Quiet, who knows innocent people will die this way. Meanwhile, Sweet Tooth and Stu attack people on the road and kill them easily to take their supplies. Sweet Tooth teaches Stu how to kill more brutally. He kills the last person and pulls out their heart. We return to John, upset that the guards took his TV. His only entertainment now is books. He enjoys reading a lot and gets affected by the story. He's surprised that novel number 89 is missing and searches everywhere to find the rest of the story. He enters his sister Dollface's room and manages to find novel 89, but it's destroyed because he had cigarettes in it when he was young. He reads his sister's diary and discovers she drew a map of a secret sewer tunnel underground that can get him out of the city. He gets very excited about this idea. The guard Chester comes to his house. John tells him, "Come meet me in the bathroom." He says, "Come in here so Raven doesn't hear us over the sound of the water." Chester says, "We're friends, sure, but not that close." John says, "I need to talk to you about something important." Chester agrees and enters. John tells him about the sewer map and says, "This is our chance to escape the city, you and me." Chester refuses and says, "I don't want to leave the city because there are too many criminals outside and we'd live in danger." John convinces him, "Outside the city, you'll have freedom to do anything. I want to leave to meet my love and live together. You can live with us too." Chester changes his mind and agrees. Quiet talks to Dollface about the wall destruction mission and says, "I'm worried about the girls with us because we'll face a strong armed battalion." Dollface says, "This is the only way to free the people living inside the city, so we all live equally." Sweet Tooth hears about a criminal named Big Baby, the most famous criminal in the area. He decides to confront him. Big Baby has a rope tied to his navel. The two start fighting. Big Baby's mother hits Sweet Tooth, but Sweet Tooth dodges her attacks. He manages to cut Big Baby's rope. Before killing him, Big Baby says, "There's another criminal more famous than me named Trash Man." Sweet Tooth gets angry and says, "No criminal is more famous than me." He strangles Big Baby with his own rope and kills him. He gets in his car furious and decides to find Trash Man and kill him. Stu says to him, "What if we hold a competition for the best criminals in the country? You enter and kill them all, and everyone will know you're the best." Sweet Tooth likes the idea and orders him to organize the tournament. We discover Chester betrayed John and told the guards he wants to escape through the sewers. The guards inform Raven, who learns Chester is wearing John's clothes. Chester explains, "My clothes got wet in the shower, so John gave me his." It turns out this was John's genius plan. He took Chester's wet clothes and wore them so the city guards wouldn't stop him. He had another escape plan entirely. He sneaks into Raven's garage and sees an ambulance. When he opens it, he sees Calypso, Raven's friend, unconscious since her fall. On the TVs, he sees a person named Calypso speaking. Calypso is the organizer of the Global Killers and Criminals Tournament. He announces the tournament starts in a week, with rules that each contestant drives their car, and the winner who kills everyone gets any wish granted, no matter the cost or difficulty. You wish, and I'll make it happen. Know that I can reactivate technology in the world. All the city's criminals, including Sweet Tooth and the masked women's gang, hear Calypso's announcement. John realizes Raven wants him to win the tournament, to use the wish to bring Calypso back to life using a technology device. Soon, Raven discovers John escaped with the ambulance, but finds he left Calypso behind. So she feels relieved because she was worried about her. Quiet tells her teammates, "We must enter Calypso's tournament. If we win, we'll wish for the walls of all cities to be demolished." At that moment, John is on the road with the ambulance. Suddenly, 2 armed cars appear behind him and open fire. John realizes they're Raven's men. He's surprised when a car approaches from afar with the women's gang. They fire 2 rockets and destroy the cars behind John. Dollface sees John and realizes he's her brother. Her gang chases John and opens fire. He tries to find a way to escape, but is shocked to see his old car. They fire a rocket, flipping his car. He's alive, but one of them shoots him in the shoulder. He's shocked to learn it was Quiet who shot him. Dollface arrives, but John doesn't know she's his sister. Their teammate Ashley hits him and brings him down. We go to a flashback from 10 years ago. We see Dollface and her friend meeting gang members. At that time, the gang was all men. The men refuse Dollface's presence and order her to sit with the women. She reluctantly goes and realizes the women control the gang's operations, but the men do nothing useful. Suddenly, Miranda raises a weapon at all the women and says, "My friend ordered me to kill you all so he can control the supplies." In truth, Miranda doesn't want to kill them. Dollface says, "If we unite, we can control everything because we're already the ones in charge, not them." Miranda and the women agree, go to the men's table and surround them. Dollface says, "We decided to abandon you and take the weapons and supplies." When a man refuses, the women kill him immediately and threaten the rest. They take the weapons and kill all the men. From then on, it became the women's gang. In the present, John wakes up. Ashley enters, unconvinced that John escaped San Francisco because escaping is hard. She thinks he's a spy and threatens him with a screwdriver until Dollface and Quiet enter and order her to stop. John is happy to see Quiet. Quiet introduces him to Dollface, and Dollface introduces herself as his sister. John pretends to believe her because it's his only chance to stay alive with the gang. He hugs her reluctantly. Dollface takes him to see the camp and explains the gang's nature, saying, "We started as 4 women and kept freeing more until we became this number." John talks to Quiet alone and says, "I don't remember anything about Dollface. She feels like a stranger to me." Quiet says, "Just because you don't remember doesn't mean she's not your sister. Try to treat her well. I have something you definitely remember." She takes him and shows him his old car. John is overjoyed to see it, especially since Quiet modified it. He says, "I discovered my grandfather has a cabin in the mountains. We can live there, you and me, in complete safety." She shocks him, saying, "I refuse because I'm entering the tournament. If I win, I'll wish the city walls to be demolished so everyone in the world gets a share of the city." John strongly refuses her words and says, "You're entering a competition with the most dangerous and powerful drivers in the world. I don't want you to die." She says, "You can't show up after 7 months and make sudden decisions for me. I won't change my mind." John goes to Dollface to change Quiet's mind. Dollface says, "I haven't decided who will enter the tournament yet, but Quiet is one of the candidates." Quiet sees a woman named Mayhem trying to break into her car. It turns out she's a thief, not part of the gang. Quiet searches her and discovers she stole supplies from the camp. Quiet hits her and ties her to a tree, planning to decide what to do with her later. Mayhem says, Dangerous people are chasing me. You can't leave me tied here. Quiet leaves her an axe to free herself. Dollface gathers a gang and says, "We'll send only one of us to Calypso's tournament. I'll hold a small competition to decide the driver who will participate, who's ready to nominate themselves." Quiet and Ashley nominate themselves. John stands and announces he wants to participate to prevent Quiet from entering Calypso's tournament. The drivers prepare, and the first to cross the finish line wins. The 3 drivers start and try to navigate through mines filling the road. The women's gang makes it harder by throwing paint on their windshields, but they all manage to clean the glass. Ashley crashes into a tree after hitting a mine and is out of the race. John and Quiet perform many maneuvers to avoid the mines. John takes the lead, but Quiet activates the turbo, passes him, and reaches the finish line first. She can't slow down, crashes into a tree, but John checks and finds her safe. He's upset because she'll participate in the tournament. Quiet discovers Mayhem escaped and searches for her in the forest to take the axe. John joins her. They find her, but cavemen chasing Mayhem set an ambush. Quiet frees Mayhem from chains, and they fight the cavemen who outnumber them. Quiet kills the first one, grabs an axe, and cuts off the second one's head in one strike. John is impressed by her fighting skills and says, "You've improved a lot in these 7 months." She says, "I enjoyed fighting with you." She thanks him for helping and allows Mayhem to join the women's gang. John says to Quiet, "You're strong, and I'll cheer for you in the tournament." Quiet suggests he joins her in the tournament. John strongly agrees. Dollface says, "To win this tournament, you'll need powerful weapons. We'll get them from Diesel City." They get in their cars and head there. We see 2 thieves digging a grave, but not finding the coffin they're looking for. A person named Grimm appears and kills them both. He extracts their souls and continues digging until he finds his father's motorcycle, which he'll use in the tournament. We learn only 2 days remain until the tournament. John, Quiet, and the others are on their way to Diesel City. Dollface orders the gang to rest. She and John take a different path to talk. Quiet decides to play her favorite songs while driving her car, but hears a noise from the trunk. She stops quickly, opens it, and finds Mayhem. She asks, "What are you doing here?" Mayhem says, "I want to join you in the tournament." Quiet laughs mockingly and teases her. Mayhem says, "I'm a skill driver." Quiet lets her drive to show her skills, but Mayhem can't drive at all. Quiet gets out and orders her off the driver's seat. Mayhem tries to steal the car, but can't shift gears to escape. Quiet mocks her and takes back her car. Dollface takes John to the cinema building, but John refuses to enter because he doesn't know what's inside. Dollface says, "When we were kids, we rested here and watched a movie in the car. You love the cinema." After hearing the story, John still refuses to enter. Dollface gets annoyed, calls him a coward, and John, hating the word, decides to enter. They sit in the car to watch a movie. It turns out someone is watching them. John says to Dollface, "The projector isn't working." She says, "It doesn't matter. I brought you here to relive memories." She keeps telling him old memories, hoping he'll remember the past, but John refuses and says, "I'm focused on the present. I don't want to remember the past because I don't want to recall the family I lost." Suddenly, someone shoots at them. They run out quickly, but a strange force pushes them away. 2 cars explode, and a person named Axel appears, riding a giant machine with 2 massive wheels. They're terrified and try to hide. Axel tries to target and kill them. John shoots him and hits one of the wheels. They run and hide in a place, staying silent so Axel can't find them. The plan works and Axel can't locate them. Meanwhile, Quiet teaches Mayhem to drive, but Mayhem fails every test. In the final test, she drives with a gun pointed at her and fails, getting upset. She returns to the car's trunk. Dollface says to John, "We need to reach our car and pass the wave barrier. I feel the wave source is in this house." They quickly leave their hiding spot and move cautiously. They see Axel leave his machine to rest and drink gasoline. They realize this man is very strange. They take advantage of his sleep on the couch, enter his house, and see photos and plans. They understand Axel was turned into a cyborg. Suddenly, a person appears, grabs Dollface as a hostage, and threatens John to kill her if he doesn't drop his gun. John drops his weapon. The doctor believes they came to steal his research and plans. They learn this sick doctor created Axel and plans to merge humans with cars to make armed vehicles. He says, I want to turn Axel into a complete cyborg with no human side. Dollface frees herself. John attacks him, and they discover they accidentally kill the doctor. Dollface cuts the power to the place, disabling the wave barrier the doctor created. John says to Axel, "We killed the doctor and cut the power. You're free now and can escape." Axel thanks him and says, "I really hated him." Quiet asks Mayhem, "Why do you want to enter the tournament?" She says, "For a better life." Quiet decides to give her another chance and teach her to drive. Suddenly, they see their teammate Jeremy, injured. Grimm appears from behind and kills him, then extracts his soul. Quiet tells Mayhem to drive fast and escape this man, but Grimm chases them. Axel appears on the road, clashes with Grimm, and they fight. Luckily, Quiet and Mayhem escape. They reunite with John and Dollface, informing them of what happened. They learn Ashley also died. They hold a funeral for Ashley and Jeremy. They reach Diesel City to steal weapons. Dollface explains the plan, saying, "The main law here is no violence. Snipers are everywhere to kill anyone who breaks this law. Those entering the city must come to sell gas and get the city's currency. With that currency, we can buy weapons, but we don't need it because we'll steal them." Guards protect a vault with powerful weapons, and the key is on the top floor of Raven's Nest. Only guests from clean cities enter there. We must blend with them to enter. Dollface gives them new clothes, dirties their old ones, and tells John and Quiet to find the vault's location. Dollface will sneak into Raven's Nest, and Mayhem stays behind. After John and Quiet wear their clean clothes, the three trade their gas for city currency and split up to do their tasks. John and Quiet see important people entering the guest area and think of a way to join them. Mayhem suddenly appears and shows them she stole two important people's ID cards. John and Quiet take the cards, pass security, and enter the guest area. Sweet Tooth and Stu are in the city, buying ammunition and weapons for the tournament. They see thieves killed in front of them. Sweet Tooth knows killing is forbidden here, but wants to commit a murder. He buys a pickup truck to kill people that way. Guards appear and arrest Stu, suspecting him of killing someone Sweet Tooth killed. Sweet Tooth doesn't care about his friend and thinks of something crazy to do. Dollface suddenly appears among two guards and fights them. They nearly kill her, but Sweet Tooth intervenes, hits the guards, and they overpower them. She thanks him for help, and he thanks her, saying it's his first time fighting alongside a woman. She heads to Raven's Nest to open the vault with the key. Sweet Tooth follows, wanting to get to know her and offering her to join his team. Dollface ignores him. They discover an electric pulse in the place. She and Sweet Tooth fight over it because it's very useful for Calypso's tournament. John and Quiet sneak in and reach the vault, but they must pass a laser and a guard. Quiet advances, stabs the guard in the neck, and kills him. John skillfully and agilely passes the laser beams. While Dollface fights Sweet Tooth, she hits his face on the button that opens the vault door. John and Quiet successfully enter the vault, but instead of stealing the weapons they came for, recklessly play bride and groom, ignoring the weapons. A bomb falls and sets the place on fire. Stu, somehow freed from the guards, enters the weapons storage, sees the bombs, and takes as many as he can. Mayhem covers Sweet Tooth's face with his cloak, and they overpower him, stealing the electric pulse. Sweet Tooth goes crazy. John and Quiet scream when they discover the weapons were stolen, and their clothes are on fire. Sweet Tooth, furious, attacks citizens in front of him. When citizens realize there are no guards, they decide to steal everything. The place turns into a battleground, with everyone fighting over weapons. John and Quiet steal what they can and escape. Dollface and Mayhem escape afterward with the buggy. Stu brings Sweet Tooth the weapons he stole. At night, Dollface says, "I saw dangerous people entering the tournament, like Sweet Tooth, Axel, and Grimm. That's why I'll enter to help you defeat these killers." John and Quiet look at the sky, thinking about tomorrow's tournament, wondering if they'll win or lose. The next day, they reach the place where the contestants gather. Many contestants are there, including Axel. Dollface goes to greet Axel, who thanks her for freeing him from the sick doctor. He's still drinking gasoline. The biggest lunatic, Sweet Tooth, arrives. When he sees John and Quiet, he greets them because they share old memories and battles. Mayhem spreads rumors among the contestants, telling each one that another is mocking them, causing problems. Stu discovers his friend Mike is there, and is thrilled to see him again. Mike introduces him to his partner Dave. Mike learns Stu is now Sweet Tooth's partner, and is upset because Sweet Tooth tried to kill him before. Grimm arrives, and Quiet wants to avenge Ashley and Jeremy's deaths. Axel has a feud with him and hates him. Mayhem gathered information on all contestants and gives it to her friends, detailing their weaknesses and strengths. Dollface isn't worried and says, "I'll kill them all with the electric pulse if needed." Raven arrives and is surprised to see John, who escaped her to avoid the tournament but entered anyway. She realizes he did it for Quiet and says, "During the tournament, I'll kill you." Quiet mocks her. After all contestants arrive, Calypso enters. They line up to see him. Calypso surprises them, saying, "You're not qualified to enter my tournament yet. You must compete in one round to qualify. The round is to take this package and deliver it to the tournament city. Whoever delivers it successfully qualifies for the next phase, but during the delivery, you can fight each other." Each contestant quickly grabs a package, gets in their car, and starts. Dollface opens fire quickly and kills a contestant. All contestants fire at each other, using their weapons. Quiet sabotages Mayhem's car, prevent her from joining the tournament. But Mayhem finds a car with the dead contestant Dollface killed, throws him out, takes the car, and starts. Sweet Tooth tries to kill Grimm with rockets, but Grimm dodges them all. Stu shoots at the religious men's gang and keeps them away, saying to Sweet Tooth, "Let's cross the finish line first, then kill Grimm in the next phase." Sweet Tooth refuses, determined to kill Grimm now. He switches the steering wheel with Stu, but Stu tricks him and prevents him from engaging Grimm to reach the finish line safely. John and Quiet are shot at by Raven. John leans out the window, shoots Raven's car, and temporarily pushes her away. The package they're competing for gets hit by 2 bullets. A rocket hits the package's owner, eliminating them from the game. A bullet hits John's package, putting them in danger. Raven fears a rocket falling from the sky and decides not to fight anyone, aiming to reach the finish line safely. Mayhem clashes with contestant Chucky, hitting him with a flame. Quiet goes crazy when she learns Mayhem returned. Though their package could take a hit and lose, they decide to save Mayhem. John takes the wheel, dodging all projectiles. We go to a flashback when John delivered packages normally. John and Calypso met long ago. Calypso saw him from afar, approached, and said, "I'm a peaceful person with no weapon." He asks John to lower his gun. John trusts him and does so. They sit by a fire, and Calypso tells him a legend about a man named Calypso, who will reunite the country. John mocks his words, thinking it's impossible. Calypso asks, "What's the wish you want?" John says, "I wish for a family, a house, and a place to park my car." Calypso says, "I think you should enjoy the freedom you have because having people makes you responsible for them and might cause frustration." Before leaving, John asks, "What's your wish?" Calypso replies, "That people see and appreciate me." He leaves. Back to reality. John searches for Mayhem among the cars and finds her at the back. Chucky blocks her path. Quiet says to Mayhem, "We'll protect you." A contestant named Billy wants to join the fight, but Quiet hits him with an axe, eliminating him. Grimm intervenes, attacking John's car with an axe. John requests support from Dollface. Raven is the first to cross the finish line, qualifying for the second phase. More contestants follow. Sweet Tooth orders Stu to turn back to kill Grimm, but Stu refuses and crosses the finish line. Sweet Tooth gets angry for not obeying and says, "If you cross me again, I'll kill you." Grimm clashes with Quiet, and John can't drive him off. Dollface intervenes and says, "I'll kill him with the electric pulse." She gives John a chance to escape and tries to kill Grimm with the pulse, but it malfunctions. She decides to kill in the usual way and shoots, but Grimm dodges all shots and escapes the fight. She focuses on reaching the finish line, but a spear hits her from behind. The gang that shot the spear stops their car in front of her. Dollface takes her package, shoots it twice, causing a rocket to fall from the sky, killing the gang and herself. She sacrificed herself for her brother and Quiet. John, after crossing the finish line, waits for his sister, but is shocked when her buggy arrives alone. He realizes she died, takes her mask, and falls into deep grief. Calypso informs the contestants they've entered the Twisted Metal tournament. They board a bus to the tournament city. Calypso says, "You'll face several rounds, each tougher and fiercer than the last. The last contestant alive wins and gets their wish granted." Sweet Tooth threatens Grimm with evil, but Calypso interrupts, saying, "Killing outside rounds are forbidden. Violators will be disqualified." They arrive at a school where they'll stay. They undergo a medical checkup, and the doctor finds they have every disease in the world. The contestants learn their room assignments. Raven learns she's sharing with Chucky and complains to Calypso, saying, "I want to stay alone." He says, "You can kill him in the next round to get rid of him. We didn't agree you'd enter the tournament yourself. You were supposed to nominate someone else." Raven says, "I'm free to do what I want, and I'll win the tournament." Calypso reveals his red eye, warns her, and reminds her she's in the city. So she follows his rules. Her nose bleeds. Stu misses his friendship with Mike, talks to him, and recalls memories. Sweet Tooth interrupts and orders him to arrange the room. In John and Quiet's room, John is still sad about his sister. Quiet says, "What happened to her wasn't fair. I can't imagine she's gone. She was the most excited for this tournament." John says, "She shouldn't be gone. She had to share everything with us." Quiet says, "We mustn't let anything stop us. Forget the sadness and focus on winning." John agrees. Calypso speaks to everyone on the microphone, ordering them to the cafeteria. They go, eat and drink. Dave, Mike's friend, says to Stu, "I know you want to return to Mike, and I agree. I invite you to join us." Stu is happy, but wonders what to do with Sweet Tooth. Calypso enters and asks them to submit their wishes now. Each car gets one wish, meaning John and Quiet get one wish if they win. Calypso ends, saying, "Think carefully about your wish because you're risking your lives for it." He leaves. Sweet Tooth focuses on Grimm and suddenly attacks, wanting to kill him now. Stu stops him, reminding him that killing him would disqualify him, letting someone else win and be known as the greatest criminal, which Sweet Tooth wants. Sweet Tooth backs off. Grimm provokes him, saying, "You look old and weak." Sweet Tooth explodes with anger, but can't do anything. Each contestant is called to a room to record their wish if they win. When it's John and Quiet's turn, they stand before a well, hold a coin, and wish that if they win, all city walls are demolished. They throw the coin in the well. They head to the exit, but John returns alone to take Dollface's mask. He recalls his last memories with her, takes another coin, and wishes that if he wins, Dollface returns to life, canceling their first wish. The contestants prepare their cars for the tournament. Axel says to John, "I thought you were sad about your sister's death, but you seem upset about something else." John says, "I did something Quiet doesn't know about. I've never lied to her." Axel mocks him, saying, "Man up a bit." John threatens him not to tell Quiet, but Axel scares him, saying, "If you come near me, I'll kill you." He steals a weapon from John's car and leaves. The contestants share their wishes out of curiosity. Quiet says, "I wish for all city walls to be demolished." She doesn't know John changed the wish. Raven mocks Quiet's wish, saying, "The walls must stay, with two types of people, those inside and those outside." Calypso interrupts and explains the first round. The 12 contestants will enter a maze, but there are only 8 exit permits. Try to get them to leave. Anyone trying to exit without a permit will be disqualified and killed. You'll find the permit's locations via red smoke. Calypso continues, addressing John and Quiet. "You were the last to cross the line in qualifiers, so I'll give you this radar to locate the 8 permits precisely. You'll start the tournament alone a minute before everyone else." All contestants are angry at these decisions, especially Raven, but they can't do anything. Everyone gets in their car and prepares. John is thrilled with the radar, thinking they'll pass this round easily. Quiet pulls out Dollface's mask to feel she's with them in the tournament. Seeing her mask, John gets nervous and starts driving toward the first permit, but drives poorly, distracted by Dollface's mask. Despite Quiet's guidance, he loses focus completely, stops, and switches the driver's seat with her. He guides her to the exit permit locations, but they don't make it. The minute ends and all contestants enter the maze. Axel shoots at Mayhem to get her out of his way. John and Quiet see red smoke, enter a building to get an exit permit, but find they're not alone. The religious men's gang, Sweet Tooth, and Raven arrive simultaneously. They move toward the permit, but the floor is slippery, making it hard to walk. Quiet gets the permit, but Raven shoots at her. The permit goes to Sweet Tooth, who slides with Stu to the exit. A rocket hits near Mayhem, causing her to lose control and crash into a wall. She finds herself at red smoke, enters the building. But Chucky got the permit first. Chucky challenges her to take it. She runs at him, hits him, and he cuts her arm. She takes his arm, hits his face, knocks him off the building, and feels terrified for killing him. She finds he fell on her car, takes his car key from his pocket, drives his car, and learns it has an AI voice system named Quattro. Quattro suggests driving for her, and she agrees since she can't drive. She loves the idea. Quattro takes shortcuts and gets her to the finish line. John and Quiet exit the slippery building to avoid fighting and search for other permits. They learn only 2 permits remain. Sweet Tooth nears the finish line. Grimm appears, enters their car with his motorcycle, and crosses the finish line with them, qualify for the next phase despite not having a permit. Those who cross the finish line are done. Only John's car and the religious men's car remain, competing for the last permit. John and one religious man exchange gunfire. Quiet and another religious man fight for the permit. Unfortunately, John's ammunition runs out. He pulls out a bazooka to shoot, but the religious man appears behind, hits him, and takes the bazooka. Quiet fails in her fight, and the religious men escape with the permit. John and Quiet chase them, fire a rocket, destroy their car, take the permit, and cross the finish line safely. Back in their room, Quiet asks John, "What happened to you at the start of the round? I've never seen you unable to drive or focus, even with rockets falling on us." He confesses, "I had to change the wall demolition wish." Quiet is shocked. We go to a flashback of Axel's past before becoming a cyborg. He worked as a hired killer. One day, he's tasked to kill a family of 8. He enters and kills them but sees a crying child and decides not to kill her. In the present, Axel wakes from this nightmare. Quiet and John argue. Quiet says, "You put our lives in danger with your selfishness. You think I don't want a million wishes? I chose this wish for all of us." John decides to leave the tournament completely. Sweet Tooth is with the doctor who examined him. The doctor says, "I learned from the checkup you're infertile and can't have children." Sweet Tooth doesn't care. Calypso announces on a microphone an extra round, inviting a gang called the 9 to join the tournament. They're a strong, hard-to-kill gang, and contestants must unite to kill them. The last one alive at sunrise wins. This means John and Quiet can't separate now. A member of the 9 fights Frost and Quiet, pinning Quiet to the ground with a bar. He puts Frost's face on a treadmill and kills her brutally. He nearly kills Quiet, but Raven saves her, kills him, and says, "I definitely want you to die, but first, we kill this gang." She helps her up, and they move. The gang member didn't die. John and Mayhem search for Quiet. Axel joins Stu and asks for help getting gasoline, as he can't fight without it. Raven and Quiet see blood on the ground, open a door, and find a member of the 9 dead, tied to the ceiling. The contestant Vermin, a crazy woman who loves torturing victims, killed him. She decided to join Raven and Quiet, but they suddenly run as the 9 chase them. Mike calms Axel and asks, "Why do you need to drink gasoline?" Axel tells his life story, saying, "Life got hard after I lost my father and wife. I had endless debts. To pay them, I worked as a hired killer. In one mission, I was supposed to kill 8 people, including a baby girl. I couldn't kill her, took her, and fled. One day, highway robbers attacked my house. I fought as much as I could, but they overpowered me. When I woke, they'd kidnapped the girl. I searched for her and met the doctor who said he'd help but tricked me, experimented on me, took my arms, put these gloves on me, turned me into a cyborg, and I started feeding on gasoline." Mike says, "You killed people before drinking gasoline. Don't let it control you. Try to live without it." Stu says, "We're with you and trust you'll save us from a 9. The 9 start breaking their door. Axel, encouraged, goes out to kill them. They fear him, and he makes them flee. On the other side, Quiet and her group kill some of the 9. Raven learns about the conflict between John and Quiet and says, when John chose his sister, he's not selfish. For him, saving someone is more important than anything. Quiet agrees, saying, "I'm like him and want to save Calypso." Quiet says, "I'm upset he hid it from me. We're supposed to look out for each other." Raven says, "John tried hard to escape the city to come to you." A member of the 9 follows John and sets an ambush. They fight, hit him, and tie him up well. They split his head in half with a chainsaw. They leave the room, thinking they're safe, but see the rest of the 9 in front of them. They run quickly, meet Quiet and her group on the way, and stand face to face against the 9, preparing to fight. Axel arrives, clears their path, and fights the 9 alone, stopping and killing them, dismembering their limbs and brains. Everyone is terrified of his strength and thankful he's on their side. Axel is proud he killed them without gasoline. Stu and his friends are happy they changed Axel's nature, but wonder if it was right or wrong, as they removed Axel's weakness. Sweet Tooth enters, decides to adopt Stu as a son, since he can't have children, and treats him as such. Calypso congratulates him for defeating the 9 and says the next round, each will fight alone. John and Quiet return to their room. John apologizes for what he did and takes her to the wish room to fix his mistake. Calypso appears suddenly. They explain they want to change their wish back to Quiet's. Calypso agrees and orders them to drink from a well. They do, changing their wish. Quiet is surprised it was that easy. All contestants receive an invitation from Calypso to his birthday party. Sweet Tooth is thrilled to attend the party, as he was deprived of them as a child. The contestants dress for the party and prepare. Calypso says, "We've seen many die, so this party will be calm, with no killing." They enter the party, full of music, dancing, and food. Quiet isn't comfortable and feels Calypso is planning something, but John feels nothing and enjoys himself. Quiet calms down and joins John. All contestants dance, forming a circle around Grimm. Sweet Tooth feels jealous, wanting the spotlight. Stu goes to the bathroom and finds Dave eating human flesh. Stu calms him and says, "Mike and I will help you stop this habit." Dave refuses to let Mike know, yet Stu wants to kill him and eat his flesh. After a long fight, Dave's like it's caught on a hook and he dies. To cover it up, Stu hangs Dave's body with a rope to look like suicide and writes a farewell note beside him. At the party, Axel sees Mayhem tying her hair with a cloth and recalls covering the girl he raised with the same cloth. He asks, "Where did you get that cloth?" She says, "I don't know. I've had it since childhood." Axel strongly suspects Mayhem is the girl he saved and raised. He recalls the day she was kidnapped and keeps watching her during the party, unable to believe it. John and Quiet dance to a romantic song. Sweet Tooth sits alone, watching everyone dance. He suffers from a strange illness, making him imagine a friend named Harold, who is actually a sack. Grimm decides to provoke him and burns the sack. Sweet Tooth goes crazy. Suddenly, Calypso sprays sleeping gas on them, and they all fall asleep. Sweet Tooth doesn't get to do anything to Grimm. After some time, each wakes up alone in a car. Calypso says through a cassette, "This is a penultimate round, called the kidnapping round. You must eliminate the contestant named in the envelope in front of you to advance to the final round immediately." John finds Axel's name in his envelope. Quiet is shocked because she must kill Mayhem. Mayhem must kill Raven. The drivers face another challenge. Stormy weather with thunder. Each starts driving. John communicates with Quiet, and it turns out she's driving a car identical to his. They encourage each other to pass this round. Vermin chases John and shoots at him because he's her target. Not all contestants participate in this round, as Calypso gathers Sweet Tooth, Stu, Mike, and Grimm, saying, "I ordered you not to kill outside rounds, but one of you broke the law and will be punished." He brings Dave's body. Stu pretends to be affected and says, "There's a rope around his neck, so he must have committed suicide." Calypso says, "No, you killed him." He shows Stu's bite mark on Dave's tattoo, saying, "I also found body remains near you, meaning you're a cannibal. When Dave discovered you, you killed him." Stu denies it, saying, "I bit him but didn't kill him. I went to the bathroom, fought him, but he slipped as I caught on the hook, and he died. I'm not a cannibal." Mike can confirm. Mike says, "I believe Stu didn't kill Dave. Dave was a cannibal." Calypso declares Stu innocent, but stabs Mike for not saying earlier that Dave was a cannibal. That settles the first crime. Now for the second, the death of Harold, Sweet Tooth's imaginary friend. Back to the tournament. Mayhem orders Quattro to chase Raven, but her car is hit by lightning, disabling Quattro. She restarts it. Quiet goes to help John fight Vermin, but Axel crashes into her because she's his target. John disappears from Vermin, appears behind her, and shoots. Raven appears and delivers an electric shock toward Vermin, blowing up her car. Vermin falls on John's car, but he knocks her off and she dies from shock. Raven qualifies for the final. She could leave but decides to continue. John and Quiet team up against Axel. John throws an axe, disabling his tires. Back to Calypso, who says to Grimm, "People saw you burn Harold." Grimm says, "I can't be punished for Sweet Tooth's delusions. It's just a sack." Calypso says, "You're guilty." He's about to kill him, but Sweet Tooth stops him, saying, "I want to kill Grimm myself in the tournament." Calypso listens and thinks of another punishment for Grimm, taking all the souls inside him, making him lose much of his strength. Back to the tournament. Quiet recalls her time with Mayhem and can't bear to kill her. She's in front of her and could easily kill her, but Raven, trying to kill John, hits Mayhem instead, disqualifying her. Quiet worries about her, gets out with John, and they pull her from the car. Axel sees from afar and notices Raven preparing to kill all three. Axel intervenes to protect Mayhem, taking Raven's hit. He's badly hurt and asks John and Quiet to look after Mayhem. After Axel's disqualification, the round ends. John, Quiet, and Raven qualify for the final. Mayhem didn't die and thanks John and Quiet for saving her. They say, "Axel saved us." She says, "I love that man, I don't know why." She thanks Quiet for always protecting her. They leave her to rest and go. Stu shocks Sweet Tooth, saying, "I want to drive with Mike in the final round because he's my best friend." Sweet Tooth goes crazy and says, "I won't hesitate to kill you tomorrow." John and Quiet face Raven, and each threatens the other for tomorrow. Mayhem, in her room, sees Calypso enter and decides to follow him to see what he's doing. She sneaks and sees a computer with many wires, learning Calypso is building a robot. She hurries to tell John and Quiet, but hears them say they sabotage her car in the qualifiers and must keep her out of this. Mayhem is shocked and cries, not realizing they said it to protect her. She packs her things and leaves the school, but Calypso's guards catch her because he knows she spied on him. He says, "I would have let you escape, but you saw something you shouldn't have." She says, "I'll pretend I saw nothing and won't tell anyone because John and Quiet are no longer my friends." Calypso believes her and invites her to watch the final round. John and Quiet worry about the final round because the competitors are strong. John calms Quiet, saying, "We must fight and give it our all." They go to Mayhem's room to talk, but don't find her. Calypso's men cover their faces. In the next scene, the contestants arrive at the final round's location. When their face covers are removed, they see a large crowd of people from inside and outside the cities. All previous rounds were filmed and broadcast worldwide. Each contestant has fans. John and Quiet are surprised to see Mayhem with Calypso. The contestants' wishes are displayed on a screen. Sweet Tooth didn't make a wish at the well. He entered the tournament to kill and gain fame. Calypso says, "This round's rules are simple. Everyone fights each other, and the last one alive wins." The round begins, and everyone gets in their car, immediately firing at each other, trying to survive and attack others. Sweet Tooth is well targeted, but seeing Grimm, decides to chase him now. Mike and Stu chase John, but John and Quiet coordinate, luring Mike behind them. Quiet suddenly appears and kills Mike and Stu. Raven appears in front of Sweet Tooth and decides to kill her first, firing several rockets. Raven creates a protective shield, and her car isn't harmed. She throws bombs, blowing up his car, disqualifying him. Everyone thinks Sweet Tooth died. Calypso dislikes Raven's shield, thinking she's cheating. His eyes turn red, and he disables her shield. Raven doesn't care and chases John, wanting revenge for refusing the tournament and escaping the city. She stops, tries to ambush him, and kill him with an electric strike, but John ambushes her, hits her with a rocket from behind. Raven exits her car, badly injured, imagines Calypso encouraging her, and dies. Sweet Tooth is alive and didn't die. John and Quiet team up again, firing a rocket at Grimm in the air. Sweet Tooth sets his head on fire and engages in a one-on-one fight with Grimm without cars. Sweet Tooth gets angry when the crowd cheers for Grimm, fights with all his strength, breaks Grimm's helmet, lifts him, throws him on the road, and runs him over, killing another contestant. Calypso decides to ignite the final with a new surprise. A helicopter drops a container in the arena's center, and the robot minion, built by Calypso, emerges. Mayhem worries about John and Quiet. Calypso aims to kill the remaining contestants to grant no wishes. Sweet Tooth grabs his car's artillery to kill Minion, but Minion dodges all shots with incredible speed, breaks the artillery and hits him hard. Sweet Tooth is helpless. When he stands, the robot hits and throws him. This time, Sweet Tooth dies. Minion heads toward John and Quiet, who hide behind containers. Minion fires shells, blowing up the containers, but they survive and face him, firing rockets, but he's unaffected. Quiet spots a weak point on the robot's back. They split in different directions to distract it. Quiet fires a rocket at its back, but it catches it and nearly hits her car. John takes a hit instead, flies far, and loses consciousness, nearly dead. The robot approaches to kill him, but Quiet hits it, jumps from the car, which crashes into containers and explodes with the robot, disqualifying her. She runs to John, trying to revive his heart. Stu, alive, is upset about Mike's death and decides to avenge him. He drives to the arena's center, finding no contestants left. Calypso announces Stu won the tournament in a big surprise, as he was the weakest contestant. Mayhem kills a guard, takes his weapon, aims at Calypso, and says, "I'm leaving to return to my friends." Calypso doesn't care and orders her to leave. Stu celebrates with the crowd. Suddenly, the crowd stands explode. Calypso is satisfied with this. Quiet cries at the scene. We go to a flashback to 2000, before the world's end. Calypso pitches a Twisted Metal tournament to a production company, saying, "It'll be a tournament with armed cars. We'll invite contestants to fight. The winner gets any wish granted." The producers dislike the idea, saying, "This tournament will be too costly. What if the winner wants $8 billion? We can't pay that." Calypso says, "We won't let anyone win. We'll find a way to make everyone lose." The audience loves watching tournaments. We'll add thrill and excitement because humans love car crashes, so they'll care about this tournament. The producers mock him, call it a crazy idea, refuse to fund it, and leave. Calypso, upset, says, "One day, I'll make my tournament." Back to the present. Mayhem reaches Quiet with Sweet Tooth's car, try to revive John's heart with electric shocks. He comes back to life. The three head to John's grandfather's cabin. Stu asks Calypso to grant his wish. Stu wishes to go to a far, safe place with Mike. Calypso says, "I'll grant your wish." He makes Mike alive in a spaceship in space with Mike's body, living in a far, safe place. Mike screams at this fate. John and his group reach the cabin, in a remote place with no humans. John is happy entering, seeing his picture with his mother and sister. The house has electricity from solar power. John enters his room, sees his childhood toys and belongings, but misses Dollface greatly. He says to Quiet, "We tried to do something good, but it seems hard in this world." She says, "We can live here without cars or violence." John agrees, as that's what he wanted from the start. They start cleaning the house and go fishing. While eating, a video of Calypso plays on the TV, broadcast worldwide. He speaks, upset about the crowd's deaths in the tournament, saying, "Because of this, all cities decided to unite to avenge those responsible, John and Quiet." He shows a video of people resembling John and Quiet placing a bomb among containers to deceive the world with his lie. A city director says, "The people outside the wall declared war on us. Thus, we decided to kill everyone outside to live without threats. Cars leave the cities to kill people." She says, "Anyone who delivers John and Quiet to us will be considered a hero." Calypso speaks, saying to John and Quiet, "There's no place for you to escape." John and Quiet are shocked because they didn't blow up the stands. Suddenly, the robot breaks their door. The three try to kill it, without success. John removes its mask, shockingly revealing Dollface, but with completely different consciousness. She hits John in the face, but someone from afar saves him, shooting at her. John reunites with Quiet and Mayhem, about to escape, but Stu appears, now a fighter. He tries to shoot Dollface, but his bullets run out. Dollface hits John and throws him far, but John stabs her from behind in her weak point. They escape with his friends, get in the car, and drive. Stu tells them he spent a month in space, training heavily. They think about what to do and where to go. John says, "The war between those inside and outside the cities won't end unless we kill the person responsible, Calypso, who started the war and turned my sister into a monster. Maybe if we kill him, my sister will return to life." They agree to help him. On the other side, someone drags Sweet Tooth's body. Sweet Tooth is alive, stops the person who kidnapped him, and orders him to free him. The driver says, "I can't. Your father ordered me to bring you because he admired you in the tournament." Sweet Tooth is happy, but we don't know what happens next, as this is the end of the second season. Thank you for watching.